All right, in this tutorial for Gaslands, I'm going to go over the movement step. All right, when you activate one of your vehicles, you get to first go into movement step, and you have to do things in this order. So first you're going to select your template, then you're going to place your maneuver template, then you're going to make a skid check if you want to, and apply the results. Gain hazards, resolve a slide, move vehicle to find a position of possible collision, and resolve spin and collision. And collision I'm not going to cover in this video. It's going to have to be its own little separate video to go over what's going to happen there. So these will not be covered in it, but they will apply. So let's go to our first one, which is select a maneuver template. All right, it's my turn to activate a vehicle that has not been activated this turn. And so I'm going to choose this one. And the first thing I need to do is choose a maneuver template. What are the maneuver templates? That is these right here. And on these turns up here, don't think you're only going to be able to do right turns, because you can flip them over and do a left turn. And if you notice, they do have numbers and symbols on them. So what do those mean? So let's take a closer look at this one. And if you see, it says 2, 3, 4, and it has these two symbols. Now, these numbers mean what gear is this car in when I activate it. Not after it turns over, whatever. When I activate this vehicle, what gear is it in? And gears go from 1 to 6. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 means you are going very slow. Where 6 means you are going really fast around the field and trying to get really fast. You're a really fast car. So this means you're going to be kind of slow or kind of in the middle speed to be able to do this maneuver. Where this one, as you see along straight, you have to be going really fast. You have to be in gear 5 or 6 to be able to do that maneuver. So that's all this means is, are you in this vehicle? Is it in gear 2, 3, or 4? If it is, I can do this maneuver. Now, let's say I'm going to put this here saying I'm in gear 4 for this car. And I decide, you know what, I want to do this maneuver right here. And so I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it, wait, hold on. If you look, it says 1, 2, 3. 4 is not shown. So this is an illegal maneuver for this vehicle because it's going in gear 4. So that means my opponent to my left gets to choose a maneuver I have to do for this vehicle, but it has to be a maneuver it can do. Since it's in gear 4, I can only choose those in gear 4. Well, let's see what could be chosen. This one, no. Yes, no. Yes, yes, no, no. Yes, 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 yes. So my opponent could choose one of those that I said yes to. So let's say I did not choose an illegal maneuver. Since I'm in that gear 4, I'm going to say, you know, I kind of want to do a little turn and go this way. So I'm thinking I want to do this turn. Gear 4, I'm okay. I can pick it up. Once I pick it up, I have to use it. I can't put it down and go, oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. It's this one I want to do. Okay, so that's how you pick your maneuver template. Now, what do the other symbols mean? Well, we have this symbol and this little hazard symbol. This is a shift up or shift down. It's a shift, and this is a hazard. And it's the same thing you're going to find on the skid dice. So there's the hazard on the skid die, and there's the shift. And there's actually 3 shifts on this one. And I'll get into the dice just a little bit, but these are called skid dice. And I'll go over what these mean in just a minute. All right, so I have decided I want to do this maneuver, this turn. So I pick it up. Now, what do I do with this? So the next step is to place that template. And what you do is you just place it on the front of the vehicle. Now, you make sure it's kind of flat to it like this. So you don't want to be off at an angle. You want to be flush with the front. Some people use the tires, but some vehicles have a longer front than others compared to where the tire's at. So it's best just to use the front of the vehicle like that, or you can put a base around the vehicle. That's what a lot of people do too. And that's how you place it. Now, you do want to make sure that the name is at the bottom. So let me go over here, and if I choose veer, I don't want it to be like this because the name's up here. The name needs to be where the vehicle's at for the proper maneuver of this template. All right, I placed my movement template. This is what I want to do with this vehicle in gear 4. And next I need to make a skid check if I want to. And it doesn't mean I'm sliding all over the place and everything. What it means is, do I want to roll any of these special dice? And you can order these special dice. You can make them if you want to, or you can just use a D6 and it's here. So if you roll a 1 is that, 2 is a spin, 3 is a slide, and 4 to 6 is a shift. It's just much easier to have these type of dice. Now, how many of these do I get to roll? That depends upon your vehicle. And we're going to take a little look here at the dashboard. And if we look at a performance car, we look at the handling 4. That means I can roll up to 4 dice for this vehicle here. If I'm running a monster truck, such as this one, this is my little monster truck, I can only roll 3 dice at the most. If I'm running a car, maybe something like this, most I get to do is 3 dice. And if I'm running a buggy like a dune buggy, most I get to roll is 4. And there's some that go down to 2 and so forth. And 4 is pretty much the highest like performance car. So I'm going to leave this down here for reference. Now, as far as that 4 goes, it doesn't mean I roll like 4 dice every time. It means that I can go, you know, I don't want to roll any dice. I'm just going to do what it says and I'm going to be fine. Or, you know, I might roll 1 die. Or, you know, I want to roll 2 dice. Or 3. Or 4. It's my choice. But the most I'm going to get to roll with this vehicle is 4 because of its handling. And then I just roll them. Now, let's say I don't like what I rolled here. I'll go over what these mean in just a minute, but I'm going to let you have the option. You can have the option of doing this. That if you don't like what this is, you can take what's called a hazard. These are kind of like you're losing control of your vehicle a little bit. You're getting a little bit out of control. You can take a hazard and re-roll any of those dice. Not all of them. Unless you want to, you go, you know what, I want this one, and I want this one, and I want to re-roll those 2. You can do that. But you have to take what you roll on the second one. So I took a hazard for re-rolling. Now, also, if we look on this template here, that 4. That says because I'm in this maneuver, or I'm doing this maneuver at gear 4, I automatically take a hazard. So I've got 2 hazards on here, 1 from this and 1 from the re-roll. And now here's what I've got to work with. And we'll go over what that is. All right, so now we've got to apply these dice. So what can we do here? First, I'm going to talk about the shift. This is the most important one if you're really... No, it's not the it is kind of most important one. Now, why would you want to roll these dice? One of the things is, if you want to go faster, so I'm in gear 4. I'm actually going to put this here. I'm in gear 4. If I want to go to gear 5, I have to use a shift to speed up. Or if I want to drop in speed and maybe go down to gear 3, I have to spend a shift to go down to 3. That's one of the ways you get to go up and down in speed is shift. Now another thing I can use it for is to get rid of hazards on here. It's like, oh, you know what? I don't want any more of these hazards. I want to get a little bit better control of my vehicle. So I'm going to take the shift, and that's going to allow me to remove that hazard, and that shift is gone. And I can go, you know what? I want to do with this one too, if I want. So they can be used to get rid of hazards off your deal here, your dashboard. They can also be used to cancel. If you rolled a spin, you can use it to cancel the spin. If I rolled a slide, I can use that shift, and they're both gone now. Or if I rolled the hazard, I can use this to cancel that. The only way to cancel these bad rolls, I'm not going to say they're bad, but sometimes you don't want them, sometimes you do, but I'm going to say the only way to cancel these is by shift. So if I rolled this, do I want to go up and down in speed? Or do I want to get rid of one of these? Another thing you can do is like, I don't want to do anything with this. I want to keep all these. I don't want to go up and down in speed, so I'll just discard it. these cannot be discarded. Hazard, spin, slide cannot be discarded. The only way to discard it is with a shift. Shift, you can decide not to do anything with it and discard it. So let's go back to this. Now I think I'm just going to say I had a spin. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. Putting that back. And so that's what I can do with a shift. So I apply shifts first. Now, if I use the die to shift up or down, or if I'm going to do a spin or whatever, I have to keep the hazard. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to shift up to speed 5. Hazard. So that's how those are going to work. All right, so let's say I have nothing here, no slide, spins, or anything. Hazard's okay. I'll just take a hazard for that and put it down. Basically what I do is I go to the end of the template, and the end of my vehicle will go to the end of the template. So it starts at the beginning of your vehicle and ends at the end of your vehicle, and then I'm done with that maneuver. This vehicle is done moving. Now let's go back and say the next thing we have to apply is a slide. So I kept a slide. Since I kept a slide, I have to take a hazard for it. Now, what happens with the slide? Well, if you look, there's a little notch here, and all of these maneuvers have notches in them. There, here, here, here. And basically what it means is you're going to take this special template called slide, and it goes into the little notch like that, and the vehicle runs along the template until it gets to the point where the middle of the vehicle is in the middle of the slide, and it's going to slide out. It doesn't stop on the template. It goes till it's off the template, and it's going to be facing like that. So if this vehicle was trying to make a right turn or left turn, there's so many right turns in this game, it's going to try to make a left turn. Oh, I couldn't get rid of this slide, so I have to do it. So I have to put it in this notch. It's following, it's there, it goes up till it's off the template, and it ends up there. Now, if I roll a double slide, I don't slide again. It just means I take 2 hazards because I have 2 dice that I had to use. So don't think a double slide is going to get you. So that's how you apply a slide. Now, the only difference is if you go straight and you get the slide, it goes to the end. So you're thinking, well, let me move this down a little bit. So you're thinking, okay, oh gosh, I'll quit knocking it around. You're thinking, okay, go, and I'm there. No, that's not quite what happens. Again, the side of your vehicle has to be at the end of the slide, just like it was when you turned. If I get this here, if you get into focus, if you started turning, the side of your vehicle, not the back of the vehicle, not the front, but the side of your vehicle had to be kind of like lined up with the word slide, the side of your vehicle. So either you're going to be that way or that way, depends upon the maneuver. So this one says, I'm moving this way, I'm going to end up there. Straight's a little different. This is kind of one of those weird rules you're going to have to remember. We put it to the end, it goes. And the side of the vehicle has to be like slide. So you have a choice. On straights only, do you want to be ending up facing that way or that way? So that's kind of one of those weird ones with slide on a straight. Now I've got a spin. And what do? I couldn't get rid of it, or maybe I wanted it. There's reasons you may want to spin. Well, since I'm using that die, I have to take a hazard for it. And basically, this means I move the vehicle like I normally would, as if I didn't roll this. And so I just go to the end, place my vehicle here. Spin means I have the option of spinning my vehicle up to 90 degrees. It's basically going to be the side of the vehicle the same direction as the end of the template here. Now, I don't have to spin it if I want to. I could just say, I don't want to spin, but you still take a hazard because you kind of lost a little control of your vehicle there. Or what you're trying to do puts you in a little out of control. Now, I can decide up to 90, and you spin on the center of your vehicle. I can go up to that far. See how this is kind of parallel with that. Or, I could stop there if I wanted to, but the most I get to turn is 90. Now, what if I rolled 2 spins? I don't get to spin again. That's as far as I get to spin is at 90 degrees, but I still take another hazard, so I would have taken 2 because I'm using 2 dice, even though I only spun once. So that's what spin does. When you get to the end, up to 90 degrees, your choice which direction. All right, now the big question. What if I got a slide and a spin? Well, the first thing you always apply is the slide. So I have to do the slide. So let's go with this one. And I'm going to end up there. Then I get to spin. Now, 90 degrees. So, and it's on the center of the vehicle. So do I want to spin up to 90 degrees and face that way? Or face that way, up to 90 degrees. And this is, again, you can use these dice are not always bad. These are not always bad because what if, let's just say, that there's a bad guy here and I want to run into the back of him and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to get this in here, and what I want to shoot, I can't shoot that way. But if I have that spin, now they're in my arc of fire and I can shoot. So don't be afraid of slide and spin, and since I used both those, I have to take 2 hazards. Now if I got a double slide, it doesn't mean I slide again, but again, I have to take hazard because I used those 3 dice. So that is how you use those spins and slides. And if you slide and you crash into somebody, there could be a collision there. And let's say here, and I rotate and hit them, that's a collision. And again, I'll cover collision in a different video. So if you move, collide, okay? If I slide, I can collide, and you have to resolve. Every time you collide into something or some other vehicle, you have to resolve a collide. And let's say, oh, I'm safe. If I rotate and rotate into them, that's a collision, and I have to do the damage there. So that is really how you do the basics of movement.